to have our first gaming session by ourselves. Well, that's great. This is a new anniversary vision of Skyrim, you know. That's right, Billy. We've gone a long ways. We're on our own. We don't have anyone else to kind of tell us what to do anymore. No Dark Milo to take the show from us. No Gregory Peck to yell at us. And it's really too bad, you know. No FRATER to kind of give us say that we really are shitty hosts. We really not very good hosts, and not. I know, Billy. We're 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 coasting. The van is on its own. We got the car and the gas, and we're going. We're going. You know, we're staying on the right side of the road. Maybe once in a while, get in the left lane. But let's be honest here, Billy. You know, this is the anniversary of Skyrim. Our favorite game. Now we're not gonna always play. I wait till you something. Go ahead, Billy. Son, let the folks know how you feel. Okay. So I was in the back of a cabin here. You know, we were in Crackton, Ohio. Yeah, I don't know how we found the cabin, but we did. So, okay, so I found this Game Gear. Game Gear. That's like retro vintage right there. I've never had anything like that, and I don't think you have either. Yeah, I think it was Freighters. I didn't know he had one. But here's the thing, it's really disturbing. There's a letter right by it, and it looks like it's like 10 years old. Billy. Billy, 10 years old? Yeah, it's like 10 years old. It's what I just said. It was 10 years old. 10 years old? Oh, crackers. That's a long time. It also does instructions. I got the Game Gear right here. It comes with this thing called the TV tuner. You know, I understand. You know, we just need more analog signals. You know, yeah, we can't get the new Red Green show anymore. That was one of our favorite shows. Hey, really good stuff. Really good wisdom too. Really good home improvement. Really good home improvement, Billy. So, okay, so you tell me, son, what's going on with the letter? So, Frater in the letter he says, Billy, make sure to tune in at this time. You mean like right now? Yeah. But it doesn't make sense if it's 10 years ago. How would... I don't understand, you know? I tried to look at that Airsteader book and see if the index said, "Oh, Billy, no, okay. It's a really deep stuff." So yeah, so I looking it all up, and yeah, he says, I'm gonna start tuning it in, you know, and okay, Billy, be careful, you know. We've been through a lot, you know. We've had a lot of space overlords trying to take us over, and I'm a little wary about everything nowadays. Yeah, let's turn it on. Okay, Billy, I'm just hearing white noise. Hello? What? Who is that? Who I think it is? Hello, guys, are you hearing me all right? Yeah, we're hearing you. Is that you, Frater? Yeah, it's me. Yeah. Oh, Frater, we thought you had died. You know, tell us what happened. I think we gotta. Like, how much longer you guys got? I mean, well, we're gonna be going for another hour and a half here. We're playing Skyrim the Anniversary Edition. Oh my goodness! I think I might have heard of that, you know? Oh, I'm not going to be able to play that where I'm at. Oh, what do you mean you're not going to be able to play it where you're at? Well, I'm not gonna be able to play that. I'm gonna be able to play the launch Skyrim by November the 11th. Oh no, you scared Billy. His brain is really thinking overtime. You realize what this means? He's in the year 2011. Yes. Tell me, Frater, tell me, son. What happened? Well, this is what happened. I woke up. This is what happened. I woke up as good as new. You would think falling into a volcano would cause some damage, as very great serious damages. Yes, very serious damages, Billy. So I'm perfectly fine, and I start up a show and just kind of feel destined to do so, to do a show. And something very interesting happens. I'm talking, and I feel like I'm a different person. Why? You're a different person, Frater. You're always the person we know. You're the one who trained us. I did train you. That's a very, very good point. But I felt like a different person because I think what happened was when I hit this timeline, very briefly, the me that was from the year 20XX, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I don't really know where the dimension you come from or matrix or whatever that was. I'm still very confused about, and I don't even honestly know if Dark Milo himself really truly knew the answer. I mean, I think he listened to that Mr. Pennypacker, that guy. I guess he's still around, and I think he's after us, Frater. Just let me know what's going on. I can try to help you guys as best I can. I'm kind of stuck, but okay. So what happened to me was. So you guys just wandering around the woods? Yeah, we're just wandering around, It's just absolutely beautiful, Frater. We're playing on an Xbox Series X. Ah, that's great. I'm kind of playing on an Xbox 360. I'm kind of back 2 generations. Don't get me wrong, though, guys. I really love that system. And the PS3, I have to. That's really going back a ways. Yeah, it will be, yeah. But trust me, I mean, it could be always worse. I could have ended up being sent back to like 1982 and have to buy an Intellivision or something. buy an Intellivision yeah, I don't even think the Commodore 64 wasn't even out in the early 80s. I probably end up have to buy like one of those Atari computer systems. Oh boy, that would blow my mind. Okay, so back to what I was trying to say to you guys is basically I woke up, I felt like a different person. Basically, it's kind of like rewinding a movie, and the character who's in that movie is not the character he'll be by the end of the movie. So, like for example, if you were to rewind the whole Star Wars trilogy, that basically Luke Skywalker would be a young kid. He wasn't the guy in the black outfit with the green lightsaber. He wasn't that character yet. Oh, I was back to being who I was, You know the amount of shaving I had to do? Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I never knew that about you, Frater. You said that you had a beard. I never, guys. I have bad skin. I can't have beards. I tried to do it once for a while. Maybe I think for a couple years I had a beard, yeah, a red beard. Yeah, that was absolutely horrible. But hey, I did it. I don't know why I did it. Maybe there was some things I liked about it, but I like having clean skin. I like having to be able to take care of it. It was just weird. I woke up. I shaved it right away, and Pooh Guppy was confused. But so I have to say there's some very deep questions, because where I'm at, all you guys are dead. It's very disturbing. We're very trying to adjust here. Well, I'll let you know. I understand where your questions are going, and I can talk about that fully. But I need to tell you something that, you know, I when I went through that portal, it was. Is that a talking dog? It is a talking dog. It's a talking dog, Frater. Well, that's freaking awesome, guys. I always wanted a talking dog. Yeah, his name is Barbus. Barbus. This game is so freaking cool. No, but what happened was, is like when I woke up, I was a totally different person. So, but then what happened was, so I'm doing the first show, and I'm still kind of in this mode, kind of like it, like last year was 2010, and I just built, and basically, sorry guys, I had Chinese. Yeah, awesome, yeah, okay. I just said to the dog, I show you our little lost puppy. He's very funny. Yeah, it's a good game. Good, it has some good writing and stuff, man. I will let you know though where I'm at. The game doesn't exist yet. Why? What do you mean it hasn't existed yet? I'm in right now. I'm talking to you guys. I'm in right now in February of the very end of 2011. And I'll let you know that like for example, starting next week is like the beginning of Final Fantasy 13-2 coming out. And I'll let you know from what I seem to remember. I seem to remember Spoonie hating the hell out of that game, and everyone seemed to hate the hell out of it. I'm very fascinated why, but then at the same time, I can't kind of like let the other guys know that because they're gonna be like, "Well, how would you know?" So I always have to put that in my head. I have to take myself back. The thing what happened was I'm dragging. I do that all the time. It's hard for me to get to a point on something. So basically, what ended up happening is to sum it up is that basically um I kind of noticed all of a sudden like certain, you ever hear of deja vu and all that? Oh yeah, I've heard of that. So basically what ended up happening is that with deja vu and stuff, it was feeling like I would talk about stuff and then I just felt like I already knew what was going to happen. It was like I was psychic all of a sudden. And actually what it was is, Billy and Glenn, is that the me that I had be entered or whatever you say, it was like I was synchronicity was happening, chronicity was happening, and I was actually all my memories, everything of your timeline, it was coming back to me very quickly, and you will notice, right now, we're recording these shows, over in 2011, and I just went to your channel. There's these episodes beginning to appear that I've never noticed before. Yeah, it's what, and it's crazy because I'm starting to think that the you of that timeline would not have been able to make this show. But you now probably got so much experience, Frater, with internet and computers. And, well, yeah, it's an extra 12 years 11, 12 years of computer experience, and I just started picking things up in a way that probably then I would just not have the experience with. So, with that experience in mind, then all of a sudden I started making this new show very suddenly, and um, so I get okay. Sounds like we have caught up enough. Now some hard questions. Are you ready? Yes, I am ready. You went for the portal. You're there. Now, now the others are alive with you too, right? They're all here. But only two of you went for the portal. Exactly. And that means is I survived. Puguppy Adams survived. But not Gregory Peck and Peter Graves. So what that means, basically what that means is basically uh, Puguppy Adams technically may be actually having the same thing happening to him, where he's starting to remember things of this time, right? I know you guys. Could you please ask Puguppy? Talk to him. I'm gonna let you know. Talking to Puguppy Adams about deep things. This is about. It's about as futile as it gets. he's in his own world, and you need to understand. We saw some things, chronicalizing what has happened since the days of the new Freighter versus Retro. We've seen everything. We've seen Star Destroyers. We've seen Snugglewampusses. We've seen things that no man and no woman had ever witnessed in their lives, and yet nonetheless we're talking to each other, playing video games, and not acting like anything happened. But with Puguppy Adams, you need to realize that he's seen TIE fighters blow up Crackton, Ohio, his hometown. Most people would be so full of PTSD by this point, they wouldn't be doing much of anything without some serious counseling. But he's the same guy. He's the same guy, and it's like I could try to ask him something. I mean, but I'm worried, what would that do to his mind, if there's a little bit of a rift there. So it must be weird because when you were going for the portal, I know Gregory Peck died in the starship. He aimed the starship and it destroyed me. The person you're talking to, I had to go. I went through a great deal of healing, and probably going back to 2011 really helped because it allowed me to kind of go back to why did I even like to do this kind of thing? You know what I mean? And it's fun, but I think at the time, people were just coming out with broken games all the time. And I say you guys are brave doing some of these newer games. So, we're doing some newer stuff. I mean, we got Microsoft Flight Simulator here. We've already recorded some footage for, there's a new video game from the people who made Dark Souls. Oh, that's cool, Billy. It's called? What is it called? Billy, don't say Elder. What is it? Elder Scrolls or something? Elder Quest or Elder Souls or Elder Scrolls or. Oh no, I think I know what you're talking about. Ender. Yeah, that's it. It was like Ender. Oh God, you guys, you've forgotten, haven't you? It's hold on a second. It is Elden Ring. Billy, we had totally forgotten. That's embarrassing. I'm sorry, Frater. You gave us the show, and here we are. We're not even. This is the most popular game right now, and we have not even. I know. someone's got to take over the show. Like I know you're gonna go why can't you come back and take it over? You love taking it over, and it's like I can't. I'm in the year 2011. Technically, I'm still the host, but about 11 years ago, ongoing 11 years ago. So, uh, okay, more hard questions. So that means is Gregory Peck and Peter Graves are the they can't have that process, right? That the chronicity. Is it something the Ultimate Warrior made up? Because he used to say veracity and stuff like that. No. Data made it. Oh, yeah, that's right, Data. So yeah, so it's chronicity, and basically what it means is when somebody goes through that portal, the dimensional rift, they temporarily lose all their memories, like an amnesia, and they only have the memories from that past self of them. But because of chronicity, they actually why is that dog? Is that dog leading you guys to Helgen? Wait, Billy, what's going on? Why is your dog? I don't know. Barbarous is usually he knows where he's going. Uh, he's leading you guys back to Helgen. His pathfinding has gotten screwed up, guys. Oh my god, I love this game. And I can't wait for opening night when this game comes out in 2011. Okay. So FRATER, about Gregory Peck. I mean, so yes, so chronicity, because the Gregory Peck and Peter Graves are always going to be the Gregory Peck in the Peter Graves of 2011. I'm going to be honest with you. Me and Gregory Peck have become extremely good friends. And it really broke Gregory Peck's heart, Peter Graves, when, I had my problems, my mental breakdown, when I was on the island of E2, and, I had really kind of forgotten about them. Because at the time, I assumed they were just a computer simulation. Okay. So I didn't want to screw that up for them. I didn't want to ruin their lives. I had this knowledge of what had happened, in your dimension, and I didn't want to really tell them. Look, I'm going to be a little flat out honest with you. Dark Milo told me all those things, but now the more I think about it, it's very possible even he wasn't entirely sure if all that was correct. Oh, so you're saying this is actually a dimension? I don't know. There's no hardcore scientific evidence, I'll let you know. I mean, but I will flat out tell you, when most of the people in your dimension are all speaking backwards, I think there is a problem. Okay, so there is a definite problem, because that portal shouldn't have took me back here. If it's just in some kind of video game world, I'm gonna let you know your dog is now climbing up the door. Billy, aren't you training him? And I can't help it. He's just going up the doors. I don't understand. I try to teach Barbara how to do that, but he always gives me the runaround. I don't understand that at all. Okay, just unlock that door, and maybe that'll get his pathfinding back up to normal and stuff. But that's kind of fun, you could just follow that dog around. God knows where he's gonna take you. He just runs around into some fort somewhere, and he's expecting you guys to battle everything, and that's fun. But like I mentioned before, no, honestly, that
Yeah, so basically what it is Gregory Peck and Peter Graves are the Gregory Peck and Peter Graves of 2011. And I'm going to be flat out honest with you. A lot has happened between me and Gregory Peck and Peter Graves for us to become the friends that we have. So basically, what it comes down to is that Gregory Peck is okay. So okay, sorry here. Um, so basically, what it comes down to see, Gregory Peck, I had become kind of forgetful of. The situation down here is actually quite chaotic. Our freighter, it's become quite chaotic. What do you mean? Like, well, those two guys are far more crazier than I have ever seen in my life. Yeah, he really crazy. I mean, Gregory Peck. He's my memory of him. He always seemed like he was challenging. He's always challenging. Um, Apparently, what has happened is in 2011. I didn't I didn't have any memory, but apparently he is doing that right now with me because what it is he doesn't quite know me well enough. That if you look at our first movie, it details how all of us met. So this show right now in 2011 is just after like maybe say 6 months that we first started to do this stuff, and he wants to take over the show. He wants to take it over, and I can't let him, And now he's like challenging me to um, play Action 52. Wait, did you just say he's challenged you to play Action 52? Yeah, he is challenging me to play Action 50 frickin' do. Uh, Freighter, that's terrible. That's probably like one. It's probably one of the worst video games ever made. Now you need to understand something too. I say I'm back in 2011, but I'm not entirely sure if is this yet another parallel dimension. Is this some kind of time loop? Like Billy, I'm sorry, but there was a lot of time shenanigans with all the things that I've seen. How am I to know that that portal didn't send me to some like portal? Somewhere, send me to some place long ago. That yeah, I mean yeah. Yeah, it's a humdinger thing, Freighter. Uh, so, it's yeah. So the point I'm trying to say is, you need to understand something. Like, you two guys are very new to how me and Peck do things, but Peck was getting quite good at science himself, and he was. We were doing research, we were doing the new Freighter versus Retro, which I will sadly say is now canceled and now over, and it truly is over, you know. But you know, in my timeline, there is just the Freighter versus Retro. There is no new Freighter versus Retro. It's just the original Freighter versus Retro. But um, so like I said, I've we really were looking into Mandela effect. We were looking into the various time anomalies and measuring it when we weren't doing the show. We were, and he was really getting into some amazing data about that dimension we were in. But the thing is like you need to understand anywhere that dimension leads you, it can't be entirely the most stable thing. So I thought, for a second, yeah, I'm back where I am, but now it's like, yeah, what happens after this year? Well, it would be 2012, and yeah, I mean, so how are you doing though? Because I know like you did really well with crypto, and is there any crypto at all where you're at in 2011? Well, Bitcoin just started in 2009. Oh, so it's actually probably just started to rally, and yeah. So what happened was, I was lucky because I had sold so much crypto, that basically, I still had some physical fiat, that basically, so I'm fine here. So, I don't. So you were working at some kind of night grocery store job, and yeah, it was really crazy, and of course I haven't been going to that. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, 'cause you got money. I mean, you invested quite a few years, and yeah, that's kind of funny though. It's like they called and they were like, "Are you coming back in?" And I'm like, "Nah, I got a lot of money now." But it's yeah, you know. Okay, so yeah, so see the Gregory Peck. Well, see, like Gregory Peck, he was a very different guy in in the new Freighter versus Retro. The Gregory Peck I'm facing now, you guys probably would not want to ever know. Oh no. Oh yeah, he's nuts. I mean, he's very gun ho that he's gonna win, and I have to. But the thing I'm worried about is if everything is like a Groundhog's Day. If you remember that movie, hey, baby, that movie's a good movie. It's a great movie. Probably like if I had top five of movies, that would probably be in the top five of movies or something like that. And so yeah, so what happens on December the 31st or 30th? I haven't really checked the calendar. There's a 31st or December this year. What happens after that? It's January 1st, 2011 again. Oh no. So that basically what would happen, crackies, that freighter is that basically Gregory Peck, you and Peck never ever really become friends. Exactly. See, I think what is going to happen is when I get through the Action 52 thing, that's when he starts to respect me. Because he's sort of like, wow, he went through all that. But you need to understand, you telling me that every year I do this show, I'm going to have to play Action 52, but I'm not talking about like a one night, just to make him happy. No, you need to understand, I'm going to have to do this every freaking year. Like, why? Those games are horrible. There's no way to really kind of spruce up each playthrough of that. It's really bad. It's really bad. Oh my goodness. And how's Peter Graves? We not talked. It's the old Peter Graves. You guys haven't met the old Peter Graves. See, Peter Graves stopped doing the whole Wikipedia thing really before he truly got to know you guys. I think when he was on the run from the Empire, when he was on the run from the Empire, he changed a lot because it just he instead of just being like this guy who would sit behind a computer, he actually had to become like a true hero and stuff, and so he really changed a lot. He really came out of his shell. And the Peter Graves of now is still that guy I knew back then. He reads Wikipedia. I mean, we were doing some Power Glove Congresses, and I'd ask him about what you think about this kind of game, and he's like, "Hold on a second," and I know what he's doing. He's looking up Wikipedia, and we're all laughing and making fun of him. And he's like, and I kind of, be honest with you, I'm gonna allow it. Back then I thought it was retarded, but no, I actually think it adds some history and some research, and he had some research and stuff. It's good stuff. I'm not used to a show this long, actually. Oh yeah, I mean we already did a quite a long host segment. Holy cow, guys! You guys are really. I mean, only thing is you're playing Skyrim. I kind of said, try to play other games, even though you're talking to literally somebody who had put 700 hours into Skyrim, so you're pretty much going to be doing that again, though. Packing all of us, we're going to do like well, see, here's the thing is, I haven't really told him that. Oh, that's right. Because in the time you're at is Skyrim was rumored Elder Scrolls 5. That's what this game is. That you're looking at on your screen is Elder Scrolls 5. But it wasn't really announced like the teaser and all that. And you just got killed. But it really wasn't announced until later in the year. I feel like it was like by summer. And what happened was the game got announced. It was really fast. Basically what it was is they just didn't talk about it at all. Then all of a sudden they did the teaser and here we go, and oh yeah, by the way, it comes out in November. Done. It was like, whoa. It was happening so fast. And that was their plan. And I know like a lot of people think, when's Elder Scrolls 6 coming out? Well, I'm in a time of history where Elder Scrolls 5 hasn't come out yet. So I'm going to get to relive something. It's going to be fun, but it's going to suck every year not to be able to play this game at all until the end of the year. Oh, no. I mean, Frater, we're on your side here. We want you back. I mean, I know you're trying to escape. Well, technically, I wasn't trying to escape. Pook-Uppy Adams talked me. Well, that's your problem right there. You took Pook-Uppy Adams' advice. Yeah, that's kind of dangerous. So I took Pook-Uppy Adams' advice. That's really kind of crazy. But at the time, he was kind of saying, that we really didn't belong here and we should kind of go back. And I don't know. That did something to me. I realized, really, with all that had happened, that basically, there really wasn't any place for me in your dimension, But yeah, you guys have this method of contact now with me. I mean, technically, we could do this at any time you want. But, yeah, try to play something different next show. Well, Frater, we are going to do show. We have a lot of different games. We even got, and you're going to blow your mind about this, there's even a next-gen update to Cyberpunk 2077. Oh, no, not that game. Yeah, they actually kind of fixed some of the problems, so. Well, some of them, I guess. I mean, that's better than nothing. Hey, good luck, guys. I mean, I got a refund on that game. That was that bad. I mean, at first I kind of regret it because I kind of realized this game is like such hot trash. But I think I was so mad, that they kind of stabbed everyone in the back on this game. So again, it's more different games to play. So okay, so like yeah, so well, let's talk about 2011. What's in 2011 it isn't here now? Well, you don't have the pandemic. You don't have the pandemic. There was a lot of things that you could do back in 2011 you couldn't do now. I mean, in your time. Like you didn't have to wear masks. You There's a lot more businesses than there was. Is there a Blockbuster? This is 2011. No, Blockbuster died like Blockbuster died like a. I forgot when Blockbuster died in the area. I would shop in. That's a good question, but it's not around where I'm at right now to let you know. Because I used to walk around this one area, where I used to shop and stuff. I used to hang around there at night and stuff, and Blockbuster wasn't there then, so Blockbuster was gone like possibly even years before that. Oh, jeez, yeah, that's a long time. Yeah, it is a long time, and that would be nice. It'd be nice if it finally, just found myself, just found myself, in 1998 or something. Yeah, but that would be kind of awkward because really, everything was dial up. So I can imagine that Freighter versus Retro would actually be some website with frames. It would be, yeah, frames. Yeah, it'd be like kind of like, well, originally the website that kind of inspired James Rolfe to do the Angry Video Game Nerd was really called Sean Baby. That was a guy who just talked about NES games, and that really inspired him to make the Angry Video Game Nerd. And which is really, you think about it, it's you're in that time where that kind of thing was you did that. Yeah, I was very inspired by that. The Angry Video Game Review, which mind you, I can't really do. I sort of add sort of a sarcastic spin on that. The original show was much more crazier, much more yelling and screaming. Although I'll let you know what's been recorded lately with Gregory Peck. It's just been absolutely crazy, though. I mean, he's really rough, isn't he? Oh, he's rough. He's just very accusatory. He's nasty. Oh, tell me what you've been playing. Well, on the first show, I played Kung Fu. Then we've been playing Left 4 Dead, which has really been something, it's just such a fresh breath of air. Because that game is so fun. But I'll flat out tell you, that, we're going to be playing, see, then the second show I played Dragon Lair, and then played the NES version. But I actually played the arcade version of Dragon Lair. That was actually kind of fun. It was kind of fun just to show where, the inspiration of that game came from. So, yeah, so we did that. And I just got done with Quattro Adventure. I mean, I had reviewed it before. It's not very good. I mean, it's not Action 52. So, what do you think would happen if it was January 1st again? And it's 2011, and yeah, you gotta do this again. Well, I would obviously try to do it in a different way. But, again, you're dealing with this Gregory Peck guy. If you kind of think about it, it kind of creates a whole new, fresh amount of content. Sometimes it's better when the characters don't get along with each other. Well, that's kind of true. The reality is like, with Peck and stuff, I always got along with him. So maybe that is true, but it just makes things more difficult. So she really, how is it even physically possible though? We haven't even talked about it. We're talking each other through a Game Gear with a TV tuner. Like, how is that possible? Well, this is what happened. When I got back to when I was in this dimension, I was like, well, how am I going to contact Billy and Glenn? Because they're the only ones I could possibly. You need to understand that this is kind of going to sound nuts to you guys. I'm kind of got to be a little bit in character when I do these shows with these guys. They honestly don't understand. There was actually something that came up, and I kind of made reference to something. I'm going to be kind of honest with you. There was a scene. I'm going to let you know in advance. I started recording the new Final Fantasy game, which is absolutely horrible game. I mean, it's absolutely a little teen girl game. It's not meant for grown men. It's not meant for grown men. It's absolutely going to be hilarious to see, Gregory Peck and them absolutely. And there was a scene where there was characters that were, they had masks on, and I kind of made a joke out loud to them, like, whoa, this is, they're kind of like Dark Milo, like talking about this, and they're like, what are you talking about, and then it's like I had to kind of like be quiet because I realized I'm talking about something that's like not even remotely close to happening yet, or may even happen at all, Yeah, that's right. I mean, you cracky, you said you're not even entirely sure that you ever met someone named Dark Milo, like in your dimension. Yeah, I don't have much memory of it, like, it's kind of like that memory was kind of implanted in a way, almost for content, The real reality is, there is no documentation that I ever trained a bunch of people to replace Pack and Graves and Poguppy, even though the reality is those guys really had very little to do with video gaming. But nonetheless, So back to what I was saying is basically I realized I had to get in contact with you guys. So there was this theory of a time machine called the hyperdimensional resonator. So I found one of my old books I made, from 2006. Not a very good book. I did a lot of bad occult books. So but I had written a little section about time machines, and because at the time I really thought the hyperdimensional resonator might be the real legit deal as far as a time machine. So I found the instructions in there, and I started very quickly trying to, get the parts, and I kind of built a crude version of it, and I hooked it up to a Game Boy. So you're telling me, crackers, that you're talking to us through a Game Boy hooked to a hyperdimensional resonator? Yes. And it works. and I could kind of see you guys. You understand the Game Gear screen is off, absolutely terrible. It's really bad, Frater. Just not entirely sure. We don't got that device hooked up to this, and yet we're seeing you. It's like, yes, is it the tuner? What it was is like, I went on eBay. I got two of these Game Gears with the TV tuner, and so I hooked the TV tuner up, and I did some modifications, and and I kind of hooked up the uh, some things to the dimensional resonator, and stuff like that. So, and that's cool and all. So, and then it just worked. It just worked, and I'm talking to you guys right now as I speak. That's something, Frater. So, I must ask, you've been asking me questions. So are you guys okay? I mean, is like, is Dark Milo dead? Yeah, yeah, Frater. He ate the big one. He ate the big one. That's a good one. He was quite nuts. That's all you need, right? In your dimension is a lunatic. There was that other guy, that Mr. Pennypacker. He survived. We have like some data down here, and it said that he's alive and he's plotting things. Well, that's not good. It's never good. So, yeah, that's not good. Uh, but I did train you guys to be able to handle these things like I did. So, um, I sent you right now. I mean, for the Game Gear, that is. How did you send him something for that? I, I just did. I just kind of fidgeted with the button. That always works. You just need to fidget with the joystick a little bit. You can almost do anything. You just gotta fidget a little bit. Um, so yeah, you sent me what is now your theme song, and I have to be honest with you. It's the theme from the NES Predator. It's from one of the levels, and um, it's quite way better than our theme music. We're still using the same theme music we used in 2011, which would be new. Oh boy, I'm still getting used to this whole time thing myself. So, so tell me, Frater. And yeah, I mean, I like the theme a lot. You know, so the name of your show is just Farfinger Gaming, and that's probably good too, because the whole point is like the new Freighter versus Retro that we started on VidMe is dead. That it's over. We don't do that anymore. But I did give you the show to you. You know, what was worth you giving it to Dark Milo? Because I was not in a place to actually like want to communicate with anybody. So I just didn't care. I just didn't care. You guys brought him back, and it was like that was on you, and yeah, he wants a show, fine, whatever. So really, that's it, well, yeah, that happened. So so how's your game going? Well, we talking to this Clavicus File guy. Yeah, I was never too comfortable with some of that stuff. Very kind of demonic, but I mean, when you think about it, if you just kind of treat it like a silly story, I mean, I'm listening. Yeah, he's got a silly British accent and stuff, and uh, that's good. I mean, that's good stuff. I mean, but I think we're running out of stuff to talk about. Well, usually we don't go this long. We don't usually go this long. I'm not used to that. Uh, you guys are really breaking some new ground for the show. Billy, your dog is pushing you guys around. Yo, Barbus is really kind of pushing it. Yeah. He's really pushing it. I really wish he wouldn't do that. I just please, doggy, please stop pushing us around. Yeah, that's some stuff right there. Um, I mean the game on the Xbox Series X is absolutely wonderful. I mean it really is that much. Yeah, they Bethesda incorporate a lot of people's mods in the game to really like the frame rate, everything is just so freaking wonderful, and it's just you be not sure if you ever get to play like this kind of system. Billy, I may never get to play an Xbox One, and the Xbox One was awful. Xbox One was probably the weakest Xbox there is. The PS4 was where it was, where it was at. But I'm gonna be honest with you, man. You know, this is some kind of time loop or something. So you're pretty confident for that. Not really. I mean, it is what it is. But so how is YouTube? Well, technically we're still on Blip TV. I'm laughing, but of course that's not gonna last. I know that, like oh Blip TV is going down. It's like funny because I already know that. So you're gonna talk to Pookapi Adams. You're gonna Well, that's gonna be kind of weird. I I've never been able to just say, "Hey, man, what's on your mind?" And he's gonna say, "What is there ketchup on my mind?" Or it's almost like it's like a sketch comedy show. You're not entirely sure. What he's gonna do next. Is it gonna be? What is it gonna be next? I have to say, what was he like back then? Was he just as crazy? And he hasn't really said much. He hasn't said as much as It's not like he's talking about putting concrete in people's cars. He obviously became more crazy as time went on, but so really, when you sit down and think about it, though, um, Freighter, do you think anyone's watching like right now? Wait, what's that? Well, I mean, is like an hour is just about gone by. Why, yeah. Oh, hey guys, little technical issue there. What were you guys saying? Oh, Shane is freighter. Do you think anyone is like listening right now? Oh, like you think like we could just stop talking.
Yeah, like we could just kind of stop talking and no one would notice. That's a really good point. If you really think about it, nobody's really like probably watching this. Yeah, Freighter. Our views are really pretty. Yeah. About the YouTube channel, we usually rarely ever get any views. So I I I have generally found it's okay to dip out. I normally I when I was younger I would have been like aghast by that. Like I would have been like, no, you gotta be as professional as possible, and then all of a sudden, I'm coming out with a movie and then another movie and a big show, and then all of a sudden I realize like I have just put out a whole series, guys, and like nobody watched it. So when it comes to like even the new Freighter versus Retro, I mean not new Freighter versus Retro, I'm talking about the original Freighter versus Retro. So we were doing we did Left for Dead. And I'll be honest with you, what are we all supposed to really say and do during the whole thing? It's fun, but it's just mostly like recorded footage, I usually always record this footage ahead of time, and then we commentate on it. It's always been the way we do things, even back in 2011. So, and the way I am, cutting corners. What had happened was that we did the first episode with Left for Dead, and we did about 9 minutes, 9-10 minutes of like, oh, look out, look out, look out, that kind of thing, like, that kind of thing. And then, you know, um, and I kind of just said to Gregory Peck, I said, let's just take that 9 minutes and loop it. And he's looking at me like, are you insane? We're a professional show. Like, now I'm like, Gregory, nobody's gonna like watch this. And he's like looking at me like, wait, what? I said, Gregory, nobody is going to watch this. Nobody is going to know. And he looked at me and he went, oh, it is true. Our views have been very bad. I mean, maybe most we get is maybe 1 or 2 views. And it's like, yeah. And I think most people duck out after about a couple minutes. So we, we can get away with this. That way we don't end up getting burned out, because the reality is we really aren't that good at like um being detailed, like even right here. Like, what am I going to say? Like, oh, look, guys, you're about ready to walk over a bridge. And there you go. Like, oh my, look at that bridge. That is a nice bridge. Yeah, he got some nice stone texture to it. They must have worked a long time. Look at that sign. That's a great sign. Look at the sword that guard's carrying. That's a heavy sword. Look at the lumber mill on that place. That's right. Like, you need to understand with my ADHD and all that stuff and autism. Most things are so mundane to me. Like, a person could say, "Well, isn't that so beautiful?" And I just go, "It's there." Like, I hate that I'm like that. Like, you don't know the things I've seen, guys. I've seen amazing places. And the way my autism is, I just look at it and it's like, oh, that's a big ass waterfall. Everybody else is like they're like, this is amazing, this is beautiful, and I'm like going,
That's a big waterfall. We're well. You have to admit, Freya, we were talking about possibly just walking away, and it actually created a whole new conversation. Well, that's the thing is like there's a lot of stuff you can't actually like say. Like I'm not talking about being racist or that's the problem about your guys' timeline is a lot of these millennials growing up, they think the only way to be edgy is to be racist. Like they think that's freedom of speech. Like that's because every other kind of speech is now deemed as just they deem that as like the way it is that um so so what it is that's what they deem as like to be as controversial as possible because it offends the left. What they don't understand is they're making freedom of speech stupid. That they don't understand is that there's parts of the world where freedom of speech is when you have a right to vote for somebody, where you have actual democracy and stuff. There was a time in my life I used to think that authoritarian government was the only type of government you could ever really have. The actual truth is that that's true as long as that authoritarian government is a smart government. As soon as it goes nuts, if it goes mad, if it goes absolutely stupid mad, then you have no choice but to try to overthrow that authoritarian government. In the case of Russia or China. So in your timeline, so like for example, right now I'm in 2011. This is a couple years before what's going to happen in Crimea. That Russia's going to take. They actually took that land from the Ukraine, as at the time the Ukraine had just developed a new government called. It was like a maiden government. They used the term maiden. Now understand, I can't say this stuff to Gregory Peck and Peter Graves because they're not people of the future. They're just people of that time. So they don't even know this stuff yet. So there's a lot of stuff you hold back. There's tons of stuff I hold back. Guys, you're talking to someone from 2011. This is really wild stuff. I'm in a time where I haven't even walked up the steps of to go to High Hrothgar. I have to wait until November the 11th. So did you actually, like, back in the day, did you actually, yeah, I actually went to GameStop on the day the game launched. Skyrim launched, and I actually had to get sent back into line because of they did something kind of goofy with me and some other people where they said, oh, well, we can't read your receipt. But then all of a sudden, then I kind of went, oh, okay, fine. I gave them the GameStop card, and then they verified, and they said, well, see, that's why you have these cards. It's good to have this card. And the guy was kind of a jerk about it, too. But, well, of course you got the receipt, but, of course, I think what the plan is to just pre-order the game on Steam because right here we have an Alienware laptop from 2011. So I know that thing plays Skyrim. It just had problems later on because Skyrim obviously, went for a lot of changes with patches, and so that laptop developed some issues, obviously. So it's just wild listening to you. it's kind of like, you kind of come to acceptance of it, I guess. Yeah. Oh, it's weird. It's very strange, actually. Um, yeah, did initially, did you still go to that grocery job? Like, yeah, because you worked at night shift or something? You know what? I did it. And it was very weird because what is gonna happen. You already know what's gonna happen. Like eventually you're gonna see. I quit that job like in I believe it. I finally quit. I didn't even put a notice in. I just called them and quit. I quit around June 2012. Oh, geez, yeah, that's something. Yeah, that is something. And you have to understand that. It's very strange, being in this dimension because there might be someone who passed away, and then you're like, they actually are still around. So it's very strange, but I mean, it's weird to go to work, and there'll be people there, you're gonna have like drama with later on, or you're not gonna talk to anymore, and but that dog, guys, is really really kind of pushing around. Hey, yo, Burber's here. Hey, I'm trying to treat him, and it's not working well. Let's keep working on it. Yeah, but it's weird because you'll actually be around people that you're not going to be friends with in the future. You're never going to see again. So you're kind of almost like trying to be different around them than you did, because it's never been easy for me, guys, because like I have a problem, and this is generally what my problem is. I've never talked about some of my own issues because I generally have a belief that especially with entertainment, that you should never ever 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 reveal like any like weaknesses, that you should be like always A plus. You should always be A plus, and you should always be ahead of the curve. You should never, you know, I feel like the downfall of a lot of streamers and broadcasters and so many is when they just have to start talking about like they start getting into themselves too much. But like what I said is like the problem I have is oh, you're shooting at a frost roll. There's a lot of frost rolls on your gameplay, on your going up to high off guard. You're getting attacked by lots of bears. It's actually quite epic. I don't know if it's just the way you're leveling up or something, and yeah, it's just really good. Yeah, or maybe it's just the way Anniversary Edition is. Maybe they kind of upped up the difficulty of high off guard, and it's actually quite entertaining, actually. But usually the way I am is like this is usually the way I am. Is I like talking to someone up front at first and getting to know them and stuff, kind of like an interview. But once the interview is done and I know everything about you, I don't ever really ask you anything ever again. And it's usually because I'm very, very heavily ADHD, and that condition will clearly get worse. Like, are you like when you went for the portal? Is your body like? It's actually the body I had when I was in 2011. Which is unfortunate because I'm a lot more heavier than I was in that time than when I left. I had actually the person you knew before I went for that portal was probably about like 240 or something. This time I'm more like 280. Oh jeez, yeah, I'm quite heavy. So, but I have a lot more knowledge on how to lose that weight because I actually at one point lost 130 pounds like 2 years before that. And so I know what to do to make that happen again, but on an earlier time frame. Problem is you're not really sure. See, if everything's a time loop, you could lose like 130 pounds, and then by January 1st, when the flip happens, you're right back to what you look like before, because it's like the time didn't even change. It didn't even change. So really, yeah. So a lot of times what happens to me is it's kind of like what it is, and I looked it up about ADHD, is like it's kind of like you kind of have a lack of dopamine in your frontal brain, and it's kind of like it kind of makes your brain feel lazy or something. Like it just like you just don't feel the need to push for friendships, and mainly the problem is too, and I think what it is just I developed the situation where I just felt that just everything's an ulterior motive, and really what it is most friendships, in generally in my opinion, is that most friendships involve usually people wanting favors, and there's always a reason why people are friends. It isn't just because they want to. I mean, that's the reason why a lot of times people have to really work hard. I am starting to notice in your game, I'm starting to notice armor that I haven't ever seen before. So that's part of the mods right there. Yeah, part of the mods that had been added to the creation club. So I'm in 2011, so that's not even that's like years away. And trust me, I'm gonna flat out tell you guys, I think vanilla Skyrim is wonderful, but I'm getting it on when I pre-order Skyrim, I'm getting it on PC. Then that way it'll be better looking, than say the Xbox 360 version, which is all jaggy, full of jaggies all over the place. So, well, you said it's like an hour and a half or something. Yeah, it's about an hour and a half we went with this game. Yeah, I mean it's been good, guys. I really enjoyed talking to you guys. It's like I said, I when I do this show, you need to understand. Like I have to play pretend, like all these years, all these years don't exist. It's really wild. It is really wild. I mean, imagine like you're working with somebody and they're gonna get sick or something, and yeah, they're gonna get sick, or maybe you're never gonna talk to them again, and like you can't tell them that, because they just think you're crazy. Like time travel. That's the biggest problem. A lot of times, like people think like oh, imagine I could time travel. You do realize if you could time travel, you really couldn't talk. You really couldn't say anything. You would have to be very highly observant of what's going on that day and what's going on that year, and know what to talk about and not to talk about. Like, for example, if you're in 1988, and WrestleMania was last month, so you talk about what happened at WrestleMania or the Royal Rumble. Or of course, the Royal Rumble, everyone would be like, "Oh, that was on TV. I didn't get to see that." And it's like, yeah, you're not going to be like, I wonder, did you guys see when Shawn Michaels won the Royal Rumble? And everyone's like, "You mean that guy in the Rockers? He won the Royal Rumble? Wait, what?" Excuse me? I mean, you think about it, you can really mess with people if you talk like that. You know? You're like, oh yeah. And it's like years later, they're like, wait a minute, I knew this guy. I knew this guy. And he said Shawn Michaels won the Royal Rumble. Yeah, it's crazy. I know. And actually, in a lot of ways, it would actually be horrible because you would know all these things. You would know all these things and could never tell anybody. You know, that would be like the man of sorrows, the time traveler, the man of sorrows, because he knows when things happen. He knows all this stuff, and you can't. Even worse, he's stuck in the same year. So you're not even really sure now that you're stuck in the same year, meaning like that next year will be 2012 and 13 and 14 and 15. Eventually, I'll be back where you guys are at. Yeah, I mean, yeah, right? Um, no. There's. I remember Gregory Peck. You know, he was really getting into the whole time travel thing. You know, because your dimension's kind of weird where there was enough technology the Empire had that basically we were able to kind of like observe it. And there was certain things I learned how to go about that, and I'm kind of doing that now because I'm just trying to make sure. And there's certain chronicity, radar chronicity. That's what we found out. It's called radar chronicity. That all timelines have radar chronicity, and when a radar chronicity oscillates, guys, radar chronicity oscillates in a nice natural pattern. That means you're in a very stable timeline. But when time chronicity, when it's just like a straight line, like a stable coin. I like stable coins. When it's nice and straight, it means something's wrong with the timeline. That basically, what we determined is that when there's certain patterns, but basically when it's nice and straight like that, it means it doesn't seamlessly move on to another year when it's over. Or the way I think I remember is it's a straight line, then by the end of the data, there's like a blip, and then it stops. And that's generally the problem, is that what will happen is on December 31st, the blip happens, and then you're back to January 1st of the repeating year. I love that science. Headshot, cracky. That was some epic stuff. Yeah. How much longer you guys have on this thing? Well, it ends about an hour 34, and we've gone an hour 24. Wow. Wow, I was gonna kind of tell you guys just to kind of stop talking about an half hour ago. But I guess when we start talking real about stuff, we can go all night. Yeah, yeah, it's weird. It's weird being back here, you know, in 2011. You know, so how does it work? You know, and you know, I work. I don't. There's like the 2 days off I got. You know, we focus on the show, and that's it. You know. Strange stuff, you know. But so let's talk about 2011. Let's talk about what kind of games are coming out in that year. Well, if we were going to repeat the same year, then obviously we're not going to play the same stuff all the time. You got to realize I own so many games as it is from that time that this is not a big problem. So, does your neck feel better? Yeah, that feels good. So, it's kind of frustrating not to know that I didn't even do the Freighter versus Retro, the motion picture, though. Well, don't worry. We know it happened. Yeah, yeah. The thing is nuts is though where I am at right now. Like, I don't, I don't even have like all the Bibles I usually have. Are you serious? Oh yeah. I mean, like, yeah. A lot of stuff I don't got actually. I got some books, but um, as far as just like like, but I've retained a lot of knowledge about stuff I've researched and stuff, so I know what to look for. My problem is then every year everything flips again, so you know how it is. Well, guys, I'm done. You guys can keep going, or you can just bow out because I really doubt anyone's really watching at this point. Well, Frater, well, we'll see you later. I'll see you guys. Wow, we talking to a real time traveler. Yeah, Billy. Frater is in definitely some strange grounds that I don't think a talk show host has ever been in. I mean, he's had lightsaber battles. He's been in space. He's now he's time traveled, and it's very very awkward. Now he's gonna battle Gregory Peck for dominance of the Frater versus Retro show. He kind of threw me into a tree. Billy, yes, he did. He's a very nasty man, and that's the thing is, see, like Frater's in a timeline where he hasn't done that yet. He actually hasn't physically done that kind of thing yet. This is pretty crazy stuff. You ain't gonna go to bed now. Okay, Billy. I'm just gonna wrap up here. So we're presently up in High Hrothgar. I hope you folks, anyone out there seen it, I hope you really enjoyed the show. I mean, you got to talk to a time traveler, guys. I mean, we're quite surprised here to talk to Frater. I mean, we saw both him and Pooh Guppy get thrown into a volcano on the final Frater. That happened. And, he's a time traveler. That's kind of weird. I don't really quite understand it. I didn't even really get to ask him that. Like, what was the deal with that? Let me grab his game gear. I need to ask him that real quick. Yeah, Glenn. What's up? I'm just gonna finish up here. What's going on? So one last question. When you went into that volcano with Pooh Guppy, we saw you guys hit the lava. I mean, how is it? You need to understand, I don't even remember that. It's very possible that's just a strange time anomaly. Oh, a time anomaly. That's weird. Like, yeah, I don't know, guys. It's all weird to me, okay? A lot of this is like, hasn't quite settled in right. It's like, yeah, it's good to be back to the Xbox era when games were good, and except for Nintendo, because this is during the time of the Nintendo Wii. Oh, I hate the Nintendo Wii. I just like the Virtual Console because you could play old NES games and stuff. That was good. And Super Nintendo and N64, it was all good, but no, no, Okay, so see ya, Glenn. Or see ya, Frater. Thank you. Okay, I'll put this Game Gear away. How am I talking to someone on a Game Gear? That's the strangest thing I've ever seen. Okay, so basically, yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and shut down now. We had a really fun little run there. Okay, folks. Goodbye.